wanna get it, going all in, and I won't stop winning. Whip it, flip it, I just wanna get it, let it all go, and I won't stop winning.
Gents, I want to address a really serious topic here. It's going to be the C word, and I don't use it very often, and I only use it in like the most dire of situations: cardio. Now, if you have to do it for maybe bodybuilding sake, maybe you're on the road to the stage, cardio is a huge way to get your body into better composition, aka the loss of fat and the more striated muscles really get into those low body fat numbers. You have to have cardio. And that's just gonna be part of the life you choose if you're going for competitive bodybuilding, and that's a little bit distant off in our future. But let's say you're one of those weird people who likes running, and that used to be me a lot. I used to be a huge runner, but you can't lay down 30 miles a week, or you can't lay down 50 miles a week and expect to maintain that lean body mass. You really can't have the best of both worlds. But let's say you've done bodybuilding for a long time and you want to jump into that long distance running. You want to get the most out of it. I got 5 tips to make the best cardio experience you can get. I'm gonna start off with one of the most crucially beneficial tips and the cheapest of all tricks as well, and that is running with water in your mouth. Now that sounds bizarre, but if you put a little bit of water in your mouth, nothing crazy, but enough water to restrict you from breathing into your mouth and breathing all of your oxygen needs through your nose. What this is gonna do is restrict your oxygen intake and force you to breathe in and through your nose and out through your nose as well. This is going to dramatically affect your lung volume you can get when you're running, and it's gonna rapidly expand your endurance. At first, it's going to suck. You're gonna be used to taking in, say, 10 liters of air every minute or every 2 minutes, to now you're gonna be taking in like 3 or 4 liters of air. So that's significantly gonna put a lot more pressure and a lot more challenge to your lungs. But very quickly, probably within the time of like 2 weeks, your lungs are gonna expand. The volume that your lungs can intake through just your nose alone is going to extremely boost your endurance while running. Now, probably what you've seen before is people with these awesome elevation masks, and I'm guilty because obviously I have one. I thought they'd be really cool. Now, they run usually like 70 bucks. They fit on and you think you're gonna look like Bane from Batman, and I really wanted to do that. The only thing is, it's misleading. It's not an elevation mask because it does nothing for you elevation wise. The thought process behind it is that when you increase elevation, you decrease oxygen, and this restricts your oxygen through the use of one-way valves. They get harder and harder the more challenging dials you put on. So it does restrict your oxygen like high elevation, but there's so much more at play within high elevation, within like your blood, your capillaries, the oxygen rate at which the red blood cells can even transfer the oxygen into your blood through your lungs. And so there's a lot more involved with elevation than just restricting of oxygen, but you could still use these. The problem is you look like an idiot. Believe me, I thought I was gonna look so cool. I rolled it in the gym with these, and they're very loud. I'll show you. Now that's not even set on the hard setting. This is probably like the middle ground, and it's very loud. And there's a trick you could do by putting Vaseline on the seals to help with the sort of hissing noise. Tried it, did not work. It just gets Vaseline all over this. And these get really gross and really dirty to clean. So for the same exact principle of restricting oxygen, you could do with water. That costs 70 bucks. A sip of water costs like 0.01 cent because water's damn near free. So use water in your mouth, breathing through your nose, and it will rapidly expand the volume capacity of your lungs. It's tried and true, and I use it all the time. It will hugely improve your endurance. The next tip I have for you is be the early morning riser. Running in the cold is gonna dramatically burn a lot more calories. When your body constantly has to fight to keep that internal temperature at 98 degrees, you're burning vastly more calories. I'm not gonna say running in the heat doesn't help you lose weight, but your body's already at its temperature. So what it's doing when you sweat more, people think they lose more, but what you're doing is killing your water amount in your body. You're killing your body's hydration. You're not so much as burning fat. Heat does not melt body fat. Exercise and that loss of caloric value is what's going to burn that body fat. It's using it as fuel, not necessarily heat. Otherwise, people would have invented some sort of heat tub that just melts all the fat away. So running in the cold is gonna force your body to try to maintain that equilibrium, that really constant core body temperature. So it's gonna suck all of that blood out of your extremities into your core and turn up your metabolic rate to try to keep warming you up. Your body is very smart, but it's very dumb. When you're in the very, very cold temperatures, your body goes into fight or flight mode and it says, uh-oh, like we're dying, let's get all this blood into the core, let's turn up the rate and let's get this muscles back warm, because essentially your body thinks it needs to survive. So when you're running and you're jogging in the cold wearing the appropriate gear, you don't have to go out in short shorts and a tank top or a stringer. If you're wearing like long pants, maybe a long sleeve and a beanie, that is perfect. Just keep your body cold enough to where your body start to go, oh, when you start turning up the metabolic rate to get these muscles and that core body temperature back up to par, you will burn way more calories, even if you were just walking in the cold in the morning. And I'm not saying like -5 degrees or -10 degrees. If it's 40 degrees in the morning, you are gonna burn way more than running at 70. If you're like 70 degrees at night, you are gonna burn a lot more calories and get a lot more effective workout in the least amount of time. Now, whilst running, third tip, do not use weights. I've seen people jogging down the road wearing ankle weights or running with dumbbells in their hands, and the anatomy of the human body is not meant to run with load placed above a joint or below a joint. So running with ankle weights is going to throw off your gait. It's going to throw off the way the movement of your foot plants on the ground, your knee absorbs the impact, and then the rest of your skeleton continues that movement. That locomotion is going to be sort of, even if minutely disturbed by that weight, of that very artificial weight being placed there. Now, if you're a heavy set person, you really know the weight of this, and I'm sure you can attest to being a heavier person. It is more painful, it is awkward to walk and run because there's more weight placed abnormally upon those joints than would a sort of normal or a healthier person. So putting those ankle weights, putting that huge vest on, and running with dumbbells in your hand is gonna throw off the locomotion of your body, and it's gonna put a lot more strain on those ankle joints, those knee joints, those elbow joints, because when you're running, you're constantly moving. You don't wanna get tendonitis, believe me, it's not a good time. So avoid using weights while running. The only thing I do say about weights is a weighted vest or dumbbells in your hand while walking at a semi-brisk pace is going to be fine. Your gait's slowed down a lot more. You can control the movement, and the weighted vest puts the weight high up on your torso, and that's sort of like increasing your body weight, not the actual weight around your joints. I still think putting ankle weights is a bad move if you're walking, and walking with weights in your hand, again, it's a little bit more controlled and the weight is up higher away from those really, what I would classify as delicate joints. Ankles and knees are high impact, they can do a lot of endurance, but they're very fidgety and they can get hurt very easily. Fourth tip is to actually carb up. Now, if you are that morning riser, this might be slightly difficult for you. You gotta wake up a little bit earlier on that left side, get some carbs in you whilst avoiding milk. So I think protein, especially if it's whey, is going to have the whey protein, the whey concentrate, and those milk fats in there. So I think like a protein shake before is a bad call, but there's so many different ways to get carbs. You can go oatmeal, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, various other types of root vegetables are gonna have decent carbs. Oatmeal with some sweet potatoes and a little bit of honey an hour before you work out is going to give you vastly more energy. Now with that, hydration is a huge thing, but not in the way you would think. You would imagine if you drank a gallon of water first thing in that morning, you are gonna be hydrated all day. That is a fallacy. The way to help consistently get water over time is to take sips or gulps throughout the day. Drinking a ton of water is going to fill your stomach with water, but your body can only absorb so much at one time. And now obviously, if you're rapidly passing this huge volume of water, your bladder is going to become full and you're gonna have to get rid of it because your body does not like to have a full bladder for multiple different reasons. But your body is going to dump this now full bladder, get rid of the water. You just drank this gallon, except you just peed out a quarter of it and then a quarter later because your body can only utilize so much at one time. So get like a Powerade bottle or one of those fancy schmancy tumblers that everyone seems to have, and drink it either as you're running with some sort of like fanny pack or rig system, or drink a little bit before you go and then have a pit stop. Maybe you know your route has one of those water little stands. Drink consistently throughout the run or spread it out as to not drink a gallon right before, but just constantly dose out that water so your body can actually utilize it. That's a huge tip that a lot of people do wrong. They just pound a ton of water. Okay, I'm hydrated. It definitely does not work like that. Now, the fifth tip is a seemingly simple one, but a lot of people choose to do it oddly, and that's wearing the correct shoes. Now, there's a ton of different running shoes. Every company makes probably like 5 or 6 different types, but you still see people, I mean, I do at least, all the time running down the road and they're running in Chucks, or they're running in like Adidas, like skateboarding shoes. And maybe you're good with that, maybe that's your particular style of running shoe, but I'm gonna tell you, if you go with an actual running shoe, which I'll put a bunch of pictures up of the different ones, you're going to get way more out of it. These shoes are specially designed to help continue the movement produced by your body, either in absorbing the impact from the ground, like as to give you more endurance, because that impact is gonna wear on you. That's why your feet get sore, your knees get sore. You really wanna mitigate that with the proper shoe. So avoiding running in Converse, maybe you're good for a mile if that's your thing, but if you're going past that 3-5 miles, you're gonna see a huge increase in both time, endurance, and recovery, because you're not gonna be in so much pain if you run in the correct shoe. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you are a cardio expert out there and you haven't tried any of these 5 tips, definitely throw them in there. It's a good way to get something different out of running, maybe a little bit more effectiveness. And if running isn't your thing and you want it to be your thing, maybe try out some of these at a slower pace, smaller runs, and you will get the most effective exercise out of it. Hopefully your guys' day is going well. Thanks for taking a look at this video. You guys' support, as always, is greatly appreciated. We're continuing to push over 300 subscribers, so thank you guys. You make making videos that much more enjoyable for an awesome community. Keep smashing the like button, keep sharing this to all of your friends. Let's build the best real fitness community we can get. I want to see your guys' results. Make sure to tag me on the social media platforms. So if you're making something crazy or you got a cheat meal, make sure to tag me. I want to see that kind of stuff. Maybe I'll try to one up you for a different video. Thanks for watching, gents. Take it easy.
Why